Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we start this meeting, Father, asking you, Father, to give us the wisdom that we need tonight to make the decisions that you trusted to us. We ask, Lord, that you would be with those that are serving in our military, and we especially Ryan tonight as he's serving at this time. We ask, God, that you would be with those that are serving in all branches of our military overseas and in harm's way. We ask you to protect them. And for those that are serving here in Hendry County and our law enforcement and our fire service and our EMS, please keep them under your watchful eye, Lord. And we thank you in Jesus' name.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll call.
This is a regular meeting of the Hendry County Board of County Commissioners being held Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the City Commission Chambers in Clewiston, Florida. In attendance are Chairperson Raymond Iglesias, Commissioner Emma Byrd, Commissioner Emery Howard, Commissioner Mitchell Wills, Commissioner Michael Atkinson, County Administrator Jennifer Davis, County Attorney Matt Rollerson, and Deputy Clerk Sharon Congleton.
Thanks, everyone, for coming out. As I mentioned before, please silence your electronic devices to make sure that we're not interrupted. If you're here to speak about an agenda or a non-agenda item, please fill out a comment card on the first pew and turn it into the clerk, and she'll turn it into us. First item on the agenda is bid RFQ number 2026-05, professional services to perform a comprehensive vulnerability assessment for Hendry County, including the city of Clewiston and the city of LaBelle.
Yes, Chairman, for the record, Shane Parker, Public Works Director. Selection committee met, and we recommend that the board award the contract to Jones, Edmonds, and Associates. They're the most qualified firm.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wills, second by Commissioner Howard. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor. All right, motion carries. Bid number 2026-17, construction of Phase 2 of the Force Main extension from Everglades Airport to the city of Clewiston.
Yes, sir. This bid here, we received 16 responses, which was really good, probably the most I've ever seen on a construction project. Several of them were close on the low end, and we recommend awarding the project to BOCC Utilities LLC in the amount of $2,087,770.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept that bid.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Byrd, second by Commissioner Atkinson. I do have a question, though, for Phase 2. So on the next phase, we still have additional dollars.
We have $1.8 million left of grant funding to spend.
Okay. In your opinion, do you think we'll have enough to carry on? Is it, 4.5 miles?
No, we won't. We got held up with COVID and realignment, but we probably have enough to do another mile, maybe a mile and a half.
Okay. So
There's 4.5 miles. Or
what are our thoughts? Are we looking at going back to the legislature now when there's the need? What is?
yeah, right.
Okay.
We didn't know for sure how far we'd be able to get with this one, because actually we had the prices being even really higher than this on the engineer's estimate, but it actually came in lower than expected, which was good. So.
Okay, one last question. So how long is this bid good for? And the reason I'm asking is with everything going on with overseas and prices going up, I know in our industry we've seen rate increases. Actually, they started on Monday. Michael, I'm sure you're seeing them. I'm ranging anywhere from 5 to 20%. This contract, this proposal that they put in is...
The bids, they're supposed to hold the bids for 150 days, but my staff's ready after tonight's board meeting to prepare a contract and get it over to Matt to review and approve. And then it'll have to go to DEP for approval. Sherry will handle that. Like, I've got to write one letter showing that we went competitively and sign a certification as an engineer, and then after that, we can get it executed.
All right, let's make it happen. All right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Byrd, second by Commissioner Atkinson. Is that correct? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, consent agenda. Is there anything that we want to pull?
Motion to accept as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Howard, second by Commissioner Byrd. All in favor to accept the consent agenda as presented?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. All right. It's always tough when you flip pages to make sure you're not off anything. All right, awards and appearances. Ms. Byrd, you want to address
Yes.
the appreciation of Ms. Brown?
Ms. Brown is not with us tonight. She did let me know she was unable to be here. We just wanted to recognize her. Ms. Brown was the librarian for the Florida B. Thomas Library, and she have now stepped down for whatever various reasons, but she was awesome in our community. We want her to know that we appreciate her for her service that was given to her, but she will be our book. Anyway, she's taking another role in the library, and we just wanted her to know we appreciate. We did do something for her earlier in the month, but she will be well missed, and we just want to let her know we appreciate her for her service. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Byrd. Next award is for National Donate Life Month Proclamation. As a presentation, is there anybody here to accept this, or am I just reading it into record? Just read it into record, okay. National Donate Life Month Proclamation. One of the most meaningful gifts that a human being can bestow upon another is the gift of life. And over 105,000 men, women, and children are currently on the national waiting list for organ transplantation, of which over 6,000 reside in Florida, and 49,065, a historic number of organ transplants, occurred in the calendar year 2025 in the United States, thanks to the generosity of 23,787 deceased and living donors, of which LifeLink of Florida honored more donors than ever before, serving 360 organ donors who provided 995 life-saving transplants to patients in need, and more than 2.5 million people throughout the county and in Florida benefit annually, or through the country and in Florida benefit annually from tissue transplantation, thanks to thousands of tissue donors. And the need for organ, eye, and tissue donation remains critical as a new patient is added to the national waiting list for an organ transplant every 8 minutes. And each day, roughly 13 people die due to the lack of available organs, and more than 10 million Floridians have already registered their decision to give the gift of life through open and tissue donation at www.donatelifeflorida.org or on the driver's license, and LifeLink of Florida, the nonprofit organization dedicated to the recovery of organs and tissue of transplantation therapy in Florida, with a mission to honor donors and save lives through organ and tissue donation. Now therefore, I, Raymond Iglesias, Commissioner of Hendry County, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Donate Life Month in Hendry County, and encourage all residents to consider leaving an infinite legacy through organ donation, and to sign up at mystorycontinues.com or when renewing their driver's license or state identification card. Okay, that's great. All right, you got that in the record? You want to pass that down? Man, those numbers get you a little tongue twisted, huh?
Seal on this too.
I tried. All right. Our next award goes to Harlem Amphitheater Proclamation. Hendry County Board of County Commissioners, whereas the completion of the first amphitheater in Hendry County marks a historic milestone in the cultural and civic development of the community. And whereas this amphitheater, located at Janet B. Taylor Community Tree Park, stands as a symbol of unity, progress, and opportunity. And whereas the Harlem Tenants Association has demonstrated decades of dedicated service in uplifting the Harlem community through advocacy, development, and community engagement. And whereas the U.S. Sugar Corporation has provided longstanding support and partnership, contributing to the growth and sustainability of community initiatives. And whereas the collaboration represents the power of partnership in creating spaces that enrich lives through arts, culture, and community fellowship. Now therefore, the Hendry County Board of County Commissioners hereby recognizes and commends U.S. Sugar Corporation and the Harlem Tenants Association for helping create the first amphitheater in Hendry County. So before you guys come by, I do want to recognize, Ms. Taylor, thank you for your hard work and dedication to getting things done. I always hear the phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and you're persistent. I said that the day that we had the grand opening, but I wanted to thank Brandon and U.S. Sugar. It's community partners within our county and our region are I mean, it's important, right? And the reality is, you guys get hit up daily. I'm not going to say weekly. You get up daily, and daily you probably get hit up multiple times. But somehow you guys always make the right decisions and figure out what's best for our county. Sometimes you can't do it all, but me personally, and I'm sure my board agrees, thank you. Thank you for all you guys do for our community and our region. You guys will come up.
I would like for him to say something. I know he hasn't, he was our very architect person that built the amphitheater. Contractor, yeah.
So I thank you for your vision, and Brennan and U.S. Sugar for, believing in the community. They put back into the community that people don't see. This isn't a East Rec or a Hendry County. Didn't put a dime in it. They're not gonna put a dime in it to maintain it. And, we thank U.S. Sugar and you for what y'all do. So, and without you, that vision wouldn't have even been spurred to be a reality.
We give God all the credit for that. You're saying about them, the county itself is a benefactor of their doing. That Harlem Civic Center was actually donated to Harlem Tennis Association, and Harlem Tennis Association donated that building to the county. So they have, for 54 years, they have been, Girl might need to come on, get in the picture, because it's a community event.
John Boy Auditorium. Y'all gonna have to fight over that certificate. I think we only have one.
Yeah, I came with a suit on. There you go, I did. Came for the photo op.
All right, look right here. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you both again. Nope, nothing on public hearings, correspondence, all right. Matt Rollerson, Direct National Opioid Settlement, sir.
Chair Matt Rollerson, County Attorney for the record. This is a new opioid settlement case that was initiated by private people. We're an eligible participant. This is in addition to the other, like the Attorney General's group, that we're a recipient of those funds. This is just a decision of the board whether or not to participate in it. We don't have an amount that would be allocated. I think they're gonna have to wait till they know who's participating and who isn't. I think the pool of money is a little over $96 million. I would recommend it. There's no reason. It's gonna be spent on the same items, basically things addressing the opioid crisis.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
make a motion to approve option 1, approve participation in the National Opioid Settlement.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Howard.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Atkinson. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And
Thank
Chair,
you, Matt.
Chair, I have an add-on item. We have a license agreement with the Army Corps, which expires at the end of this month, for positioning our equipment on a tower that they have. It's located at their South Florida Operation Office Reservation in Clewiston. For the first year in 15 years, when they submitted the renewal, they had an administrative cost to us of $8,600. And after Bob has discussed it with myself and Jennifer, and he's recommended that we have no location we could relocate this equipment that wouldn't have this cost. So I'm just asking, since the board approved initially, I'm asking for the board for authorization to remove the equipment by the end of the month, so we can notify them that that's what we're doing, and to start the process of relocating that equipment.
So I have a couple questions, but I'll wait for my board if they got any.
Chair, so this equipment that's on there, when it gets taken down, are we gonna lose any kind of service in that meantime?
Bob Pestula, Director of Emergency Management. We're going to lose the service of the antiquated pagers that we're using right now for the fire department. So we've replaced that with active 911 program, And we've provided that to each of the firefighters and to EMS as well. So my goal is to move off of the pagers altogether and find a more substantial system for our first responders. So that's the goal, the long-term goal. But we are going to put those repeaters back up on the South Florida Water Management Tower on Olympia.
The new facility?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
Bob, on the pagers, are they still the backup to 800?
They're the initial notification for the fire department and for EMS. So the idea is we're going to take we have brand new repeaters that we purchased, and we're going to split the channels on there, and then we're going to provide VHF radios for each of the firefighters and paramedics, and they'll be able to get their pages and communicate over those radios. So it gives it a dual purpose.
Okay, thank
Mr.
you.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
what's the timeline?
Oh, December we'll have that tower up.
Have we spoken, I mean, you've spoken to South Florida Water Management. Is there going to be a fee, or are they going to do it as like an in-kind?
$1 a year.
No, to install.
Oh, yeah. Streamline's going to help us with that.
Okay, great. All right. We don't have a motion yet? You did have a motion.
You did.
We have a motion by Commissioner Howard,
Second.
second by Commissioner Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Bob and Matt. Mr. Alexander, new LaBelle boat ramp proposal.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. This is Ryan Alexander, Director of Planning Community Development for the record. We started a project a couple years ago trying to find a new facility to expand the boat ramp in LaBelle. The county currently has boat ramp in LaBelle and then a boat ramp down in southeast Hendry County. But particularly the boat ramp in LaBelle has been operating at capacity now for the past couple of years as we've experienced growth. We started the project, started working with the adjacent commercial business and worked out some parking there. We worked through some parking ordinances. And with the repaving of Old 78, we'll be putting in a crosswalk to alleviate some of that parking as well. So we're also having tournaments that are coming to the Foosahatchee River and just recreational boaters during the summer season that are exceeding the capacity of the boat ramp. We looked at a property about 2 years ago now over on the other side of Foosahatchee Marina in Glades County off Riverbend Drive. And some concerns were brought to our attention that we needed to look into before we move forward with the project. So staff worked through, we looked at some other properties in the area. We mapped out Bob Mason Park to see if that would be a possibility of expanding that for boat parking. But the parcel is just too narrow to really provide any adequate parking and really expand the offerings that we're looking at. We also came back to the downtown area to enhance the downtown that we're working on right now, as well as the slow lake area that extends through the downtown area that would open up opportunities for paddleboarding, kayaking, and canoeing. And that's just not anywhere else on the river. So we've been working through that. We came up with a design that we bounced back and forth a couple times, trying to make sure that as people are coming into the boat ramp, it's a natural flow into the boat ramp. They're not stacking up on the riverbed. We're moving into the neighborhood beyond, that's about 3/4 of a mile beyond the gate as it is right now. So we came up with a design that would just be curving into the boat ramp facility. Working through the boat ramp facility, we'd be looking at pavilions for picnics and for lay-ins and tournament activities in the boat ramp, but really trying to minimize the impact to the area. There's some huge oak trees over there that we wouldn't want to take down. And so working through some grass parking and a lot of impervious areas we can just kind of improve. I think we'd be able to have that area as a nice shaded area in a great location that we could fit a lot of boats onto. So I reached out to South Florida Water Management District and I talked to Phil Flood, and we identified 10 acres right over the Glades County line. We spoke to Glades County as well, and they were in favor of the project. And working through this, and Phil let us know that we needed to draft a letter that would be coming from the board to move forward with the new boat ramp. So I drafted a letter that's included with the agenda item. Phil called me yesterday and gave me the next steps if the board would want to move forward with the process. We would forward it to their land development portion of Southwest Florida Water Management District and also to the director to review and see if that'd be something that they'd want to enter into. This same parcel was an old nature park for the city of LaBelle years ago, and just never really moved forward or developed. There's still a little parking area there that you can walk into and see what that would look like. So that's really the gist of the project, and we're still in the very early stages of working through it. We'd be having to work through grants and the voter improvement fund and try to find some money to make that work. And the most low impact way we could, just be able to provide a larger boat ramp area so we could have bigger events, and also just have some more parking for visitors that come into the county to enjoy the recreation that we have in the century.
Okay, I do have some public comment cards, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring them up before we continue. First, I have Miss Jackie Radica. And then just so you guys can be prepared, Leonard, you're on deck. Yeah. State your name for the record, and you'll be given 3 minutes to speak, and we're gonna stay true to that, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. You
Jackie,
understand?
Jackie Radica from the city of LaBelle. The project, I think, needs to be looked at a little. We need more details. I think the public should have more details of approximately how many boat slips are we going to have there, and where the whole design is going to be so everybody can see what it's going to look like. Is it going to be called the Hendry County Boat Ramp because it's going to be in Glades County? So that draws that. What are we doing with the other existing boat ramp? And what are we doing about all the nature and all the wildlife that's in there? Because I can guarantee you there is tortoises in there. Gopher tortoises everywhere in there. I can guarantee you that. So how would you guys be addressing and handling that as well?
So Ryan, before you start, I think I can start on the gopher tortoises. FWC is going to require us of how we're going to address this. There's a process behind that, number one. Number two is this isn't a design. This is just to get permission for the 99-year lease from South Florida Water Management.
See if he can mute, or
He's got to mute it on his side.
Alan, or
Hey,
Ryan.
hey,
can you-
Ryan. Hey, until we call on you, if you'll mute your phone.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
I think, if I may,
Yep.
Chairman, I think to answer your questions, none of those things have been decided, but I will tell you that just preliminary, first of all, South Florida has to agree to it. There's a lot of planning. As far as the nature goes, we were very mindful of that. We were talking about some things very natural, similar. We just internally, we talked about, there's I don't know what it's called, but it's in Sanibel. So it's not even asphalt, for example, a very, very natural feel, moral kind of parking area and things like that. And so this would just be the next step to see if we can move forward with South Florida. We may not be able to move forward with South Florida. We haven't discussed or decided, or the board, this is the first time they're hearing anything about it, other than we've just talked about it over the years, that it's a problem because we're at capacity.
I totally understand that.
There's been no discussion about closing the existing boat ramp. We did talk to Glades County. It is in Glades County, but they were supportive of the project for Hendry County to enter into a lease with South Florida Water Management if that were to move forward, and they were good with that. So, it wouldn't be a Glades County.
Yeah.
But Glades County folks are right there, and so they would absolutely be utilizing it. So there's a lot to work through. And of course, we would always be, cognizant of nature, and we would never do anything to
Another thing
harm.
would be to be mindful of the traffic. I know you guys are planning, and the planning department shows that it would be the roundabout that's coming with the bridges. Nothing has been finalized with the bridges. We still don't know if they're coming yet or not, or what their even traffic design is, whether they're putting in a roundabout or they're putting straight roads. We still don't even know. That's still up in the air. And I do know that whatever their project is bringing is 10 years out. So if this project of y'all's was to move forward before that, where would you be with the traffic? Because you're going to have you're going to have how many trucks and trailers coming out of there at once? And if they're trying to go south, you're going to have a major issue. So those are my biggest concerns.
Mr. Chairman. Well, let's talk about the traffic for just a second. The real, there's two issues.
Yeah.
One is turning right into Riverbend, which that would require a right turn lane and maybe consider outward right-hand merge as you're going out. But when we were talking about some of these mitigation things that we would have before us, we do recognize that when the boaters are leaving, there's going to be some stack-up traffic that they already have right now
Yeah.
on a regular basis. So we were talking with staff, and there's a lot of ifs to it, but we know there's going to be a time gap for the roundabout if and when that comes. So there's nothing stopping us from trying to get permission through FDOT to install a traffic light on 29. And so, and that's not the only, we thought about some other ways of maybe doing it with AI, so it doesn't, it recognizes a certain number of vehicles on Riverbend, and then it doesn't let those that are in the boat ramp parking area out until that clears. There's a few other alternatives we can come up with on the traffic issue that would occur.
Yeah.
But with the right permission from FDOT, we have an answer until we get a roundabout there.
Was there any other spots that you guys had picked besides Bob Mason Park? I know that was one, but was there any other locations that you guys were looking at for analysis?
Mr. Chairman, so we did talk about several other alternatives, and they're clearly alternatives to this.
Yeah.
We talked about acquiring property next to the existing boat ramp, although the words I got back today is probably not. There's not an interest in selling. We also have put some thought into Belhatchee, and because there is Belhatchee has been up for sale at different times.
Yeah.
So there's other alternatives. What we're trying to achieve also with the actual ramp itself is to keep it close or in that no wake zone, because there's a boater safety thing that goes along with that as well. So outside of that, then you have fast moving boats while people are launching, and that's has its own hazards to it. So.
True.
So we've got a lot of work to do. It's just the issue is we got to get the first step of acquiring the land if it's even an option.
Gotcha. Thank
So
you very
Leonard,
much.
Thank you. Leonard Enriquez.
Hi, Leonard Enriquez, private citizen, Henry County resident. You know, my overall comment is that, and this is with due respect to our staff, especially our planning staff, who is, you know, in the military. We feel like the way the project is described is missing too many pieces. We don't know. In other words, you're bringing it forward to us to evaluate the merits, the risks, and the rewards of the project. But we don't have enough to even begin to understand that. For example, how many more boat ramps are we going to get from this? Do we know?
Mr. Chairman, can I speak on that? Well, that's what we're not coming to the constituents with yet. There's a lot we don't know. All this is a request to the Water Management District. Would they be open to allowing us the lease on 10 acres? That's it.
That's just a yes or no question?
Yeah.
You're not actually going to be moving into the okay.
Yes,
Correct.
that
We've
is
got a lot of
correct.
work
I still think you're bringing the project forward to get comment from the community, but you're not showing us enough about it. This is really a three-legged stool with two legs missing. We don't know what's going to happen at the other what's going to happen at the other boat ramp, at the existing boat ramp.
Well,
What's that going to turn into?
Go ahead.
That has plenty of community impact as well.
Obviously, we need the capacity at the current boat ramp. The current boat ramp in the summertime for summer boating, snook season, bass tournaments, it's exceeding its capacity. Went by there Saturday, pickup trucks and boat trailers parked on the side of County Road 78. Obviously an unsafe condition, and we can't let that unsafe condition continue. We've got to add capacity. Unfortunately, there's nowhere to add capacity at the current boat ramp. But to answer your question, there's been no thought about closing that boat ramp because we realize we need the capacity. And this, a second boat ramp probably isn't going to give us the amount of capacity that we need. So does that answer your question?
I'm not sure I understand your answer to the last point. Does that mean that even if we do this, we're not going to get enough capacity in boat ramps? Do we know how many boat ramps we're going to get by doing this? Additional?
May I?
Yes.
This
Ms. Davis.
request is from staff to the board. We as staff cannot write this letter without your permission. This is a board meeting that we have to have all of you can't talk about it, separately. And so this isn't this is a public meeting, but this is not a public hearing to approve a final boat ramp at this location. This is just the next step to see if this is even a possibility. If South Florida comes back and says, yes, this is a possibility, this will come back to the board. We will ask further direction from the board as to next steps and request public input for the same. And so this will be a very open, transparent process if it were to even move forward, but this is just the first step. We don't have the answers that you are asking because we haven't even gotten that far. We're not going to waste resources to answering these questions on a piece of property that may not even be a possibility.
No, I understand many steps in the process, but we really don't know what it's going to do for us. I mean, just let me summarize. We don't know what it's going to do for us right now. We don't even know it's going to solve the problem it's supposed to solve. And I would propose that we consider, whatever we do, we consider that the existing boat ramp remain a boat ramp, because if they make that into a condo or something.
No.
Stranger things have happened, you know that.
No.
Okay, so if they don't, if
Take that into consideration, but we do have, for the sake of time, we need to move on. You're going to have an opportunity to speak later, not tonight, but I'm talking about when we bring this back before the board, when we have plans in place as to what our ideas are, because we want the public input, but we're not there quite yet. We got to get the land first.
But we don't have enough information for you to get public input. Thank you.
We're wanting is to see if we can acquire the land.
Chairman?
Yeah, Mr. Toledo.
Mr. Chairman, just so I want to make it clear too, when this was on the agenda and first addressed to me with my agenda packet, the next step that I took was to go to Riverbend, to go to Rialto Way, and another property that's on the Riverbend, to let them know, so that what we would like to do when we get to that point, when we get to past this point that we are now, is to be able to bring the constituents in to have input on the front end. That was our intention.
Ready for me?
Okay, Richard.
I'm Richard Lucas Tallada. I live on Riverbend Drive with my 2 small children and my wife and our pack of armadillos. I'd like to speak about 2 topics tonight. The first is traffic safety, because this proposal underestimates a very real and dangerous issue. The county suggests that moving the gate, adding signage, constructing turn improvements will mitigate traffic concerns, but the reality is much different when you consider how this facility will actually function, especially during peak use and tournaments. You're not dealing with standard passenger vehicles. You're dealing with trucks pulling boat trailers, many of which will need to exit Riverbend Drive and turn left onto State Road 29. That maneuver is already difficult. Add early morning low light conditions, high traffic volumes during tournaments, long trailer lengths requiring wide turning radiuses, drivers that are unfamiliar with the area, and you create a high risk conflict point right at that intersection. Even with turn lanes, trailers backing up, hesitating, or misjudging gaps will create traffic stacking on Riverbend Drive, which is a residential road not designed for that type of volume or that type of use. This isn't just inconvenient, it's a public safety issue for residents exiting their homes, children, pedestrians, boaters themselves. No amount of signage or gate relocation changes the physics of a truck with a trailer trying to safely enter a busy highway. So the bottom line is the plan introduces a known traffic hazard in a residential area and relies on mitigation measures that do not address the real-world behavior of vehicles using this ramp. The other topic I'd like to talk about is the alternative that could achieve the county's goals while avoiding nearly all of the concerns you've heard tonight. Instead of building a new boat ramp on Riverbend Drive, the county should consider acquiring the Belhatchie Marina property. The infrastructure already exists. There would be lower development costs, faster implementation, less environmental disruption. It avoids residential impact. Bell Hatch is located before the gate, so the gate wouldn't have to be moved. And it presents an opportunity to improve an underperforming asset. The current ownership and management of Bell Hatch leaves room for improvement. With county investment, that property could be transformed.
That's Bill Hatchie. Okay, thank you. Mr. Jim Rigsby?
Rigsby, yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Jim Rigsby, and I also am representing the Riverbend Homeowners Association. And I just want to point out a couple of things that some of which you probably already know, but the Riverbend Homeowners Association holds a right-of-way easement for Riverbend Drive from the existing west gate all the way into the Hendry County line on the east end. The court order assigning this easement to Riverbend states, control of this right-of-way shall be vested in the Riverbend Homeowners Association. Riverbend Drive was never meant to be a public access road. Opening the road to public use would lead to daily inconvenience and the safety issues that Lucas addressed for the residents of Riverbend Estates and Rialto Point. The Soud property, the first house after you enter the gate, extends across Riverbend Drive. I don't know if you know this or not, but he has an easement, we have an easement to cross his property. His property crosses Riverbend Drive to the south. And I don't think he's here tonight, but I don't think he'd be too happy about the idea of moving the gate because that would put him outside of the gate. But that's something that needs to be at least addressed. Reversing these court orders and easements will require some legal action on the part of the county, and we are prepared to defend ourselves in that. Another issue, if I can get myself to it here, is the additional wear and tear on the road bed. The right-of-way easement that we have stipulates that our HOA is responsible for maintenance and repair to the road. Public access traffic, not to mention construction vehicles going in and out, are going to seriously impact the road surface, which raises a number of questions. Who will decide when repairs and repaving is needed? Who will pay for those repairs? And how can we be assured that it will happen? And what influence will our HOA have on decisions about future developments along Riverbend Drive? So that's basically what I have to say.
Thank you. I'm assuming Matt, Shane, are you guys aware of any of that about the right-of-way?
I have a copy of this for you guys before I
Could you leave that with the clerk, please?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Riggs.
Thank you, Mr.
And we'll have our staff look into that, but those are great points and comments. Thank you all for coming out. Please understand, we're not making any decisions tonight. At this point, all we're looking at is trying to see if South Florida Water Management would entertain the idea of going into a long-term lease with us. If that's the case, then we're going to investigate. I mean, there's a lot to do, especially with what his comments are. So this is not a one and done. It's just part of the process, okay? But I will say that part of that process is you guys coming out, the public coming out, being engaged, being part of not necessarily the problem, but a part of the solution too, okay? We want what's best for Hendry County, okay? Thank you. So at this point, we need to give staff direction is what we're looking for. Is that correct?
We're asking for permission to send a letter.
Okay.
I make a motion that we send a letter to South Florida Water Management.
Okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Byrd to send a letter to South Florida Water Management looking for a long-term lease opportunity. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Howard. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you. All right, moving along. Item 2, Ryan Alexander, Harlem Community Planning Assistance Team Program.
Hey, good afternoon. It's Ryan Alexander again, Director of Planning and Community Development. I moved, so hopefully it's a little bit easier to hear me.
Yes, sir.
This is an opportunity that I found a couple weeks ago. The American Planning Association, the Florida chapter, offers an application period where communities can submit small projects they have within their county or within their municipality to get some assistance from experts in the planning field in working through different plans and future plans for a community. We've addressed this a couple times. We worked on it in the 2023 Comprehensive Plan Amendment that we weren't able to implement yet in carving out Harlem. And then staff has been working on exploring the possibility of a CRA or a redevelopment agency for the area to try to help out the Harlem communities. This application, if we were awarded it, would be pro bono services that would have no cost to the county, but it would provide experts to let us know if the community redevelopment agency is the right path to go down, or if there's another avenue that we could explore to help the Harlem community. So this would be asking for permission from the board to be able to create this application and send it. This is the first step in the process. I did get an email earlier asking some questions about the project. If we were awarded this opportunity, there would be stakeholder engagement and meetings in the fall and throughout late summer working up to that, and they would be engaged during that process. We haven't worked through the actual direction of the project yet. That would be all worked out with staff during the application, and then also, if we were awarded it, then we'd be able to tailor it to exactly what we were trying to work for.
Okay. Ms. Taylor, I have a comment card from Janet Taylor.
And Brian, thanks for your service to the country and thing, but I was trying to get these answers.
Name for the record.
Oh, Janet Taylor. I was trying to get these answered before the night, so I wouldn't have to, but Jennifer, I called and she didn't return my call, and sorry, you were
I have
busy.
a message from you. I'm very sorry.
Okay, but I did email him, so I'm the one that emailed you. And my question was, and I think you might have answered it, is that one of the things I wanted to know what project you had identified. And if I hear you right, you were saying the CRA?
Yes.
Something like a CRA.
Something like a CRA.
This is called a CPATS.
Yeah, I know, yeah, that's what, but the project identified, and I know we got an April 30th thing, and I just want to know the areas he's identified, and have you all identified the stakeholders?
This is just permission to apply.
I understand that,
and
but on the
nothing-
application,
nope.
it asks those questions.
And so Ryan would have to answer that question.
Okay, Ryan. On the application, I was looking through the application, and it says that you identify the stakeholders and the nonprofits, and if you hadn't, I just wanted to offer.
Indicated tonight that they wanted to move forward with me submitting the application. That's what I'd be working on over the next 2 weeks before the 30th.
Okay.
Is working with Commissioner Byrd to identify the stakeholders and work through the specifics of the project. This is just getting permission to move forward with it, just the application, working on the details until the 30th when it's due.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I really appreciate that, but I would also just like to offer as stakeholder things when you all are considering some of the churches, and also for the nonprofits, Harlem Tennis Association would be more than willing to work with the county on these. So we were
If
just
you would-
offering help.
If you would just send him an email.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. So at this time, do we have a motion?
I have a motion to move.
Okay. I have an option. Motion by Commissioner Byrd, second by Commissioner Atkinson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Ryan, that's all we have for you. I don't know if you want to stay on the call, but you're welcome to. And once again, thank you for your service. At this time, we have agenda item C, Shane Parker, Public Works Director. Mailbox update, Shane?
All right.
All right.
Very minimal update. Don't have much to add, but since the last meeting, we have issued the invitation to bid for building the mailbox pavilion in Wheeler Estates. That'll be in the paper next Wednesday. So got the draft document. It'll be ready in time. The ad's already scheduled to go in next Wednesday. We are waiting on still information from the postmaster Quaid, McMinnis or Millis, and Clewiston about the number of parcel. He gave us amount of parcel lockers, but we don't know of those number of parcel lockers how many have to be large parcel lockers. So when we lay this stuff out, Jim Sabella, we want to make sure we have the correct layout. We don't want to do it and find out we don't have enough and have to add more. So that's pretty much where we're at. We're going to be looking at doing the walls for the parcel lockers, and they got different combinations where if you go to a regular post office, you have some about this size, they get bigger as you go down. And they've been asking for lately large parcel locker, which is they're about, I don't know, 2 foot high, 1.5 foot wide. So we need to know how many of those we need. That's really all I have for you.
I think on the parcel lockers, they changed from the big ones to like the medium-sized ones, like for medication and stuff
Right.
like that, because that's mostly what UPS is doing now, because Amazon's delivering to homes.
Mhm.
But I'll call Quade in the morning
Okay.
and find that out.
Right.
But will
What his
Amazon
request is.
deliver to the individual homes
They're
in
doing,
Monterey?
yep, they're doing all of Hendry County now.
Okay.
Okay.
Ladika, Pioneer, Monterey.
I know, and Jim's office has called them, we emailed them several times. I'm copied on the emails, and they've actually even called and left messages. So I don't know if he's out of the office or what, but that's all I have.
Will those designs come back to us for
I'll
approval?
show you the layout of
Okay.
what it looks like, but we just need to lay it out.
Okay.
Chair,
Yes.
mailboxes for Pioneer, Ladika, and Sky Valley. Did we find a funding source for those?
Well, we were
To
waiting.
go ahead and get those ordered?
We have an estimate of the minimum amounts, but I was wanting to bring back to you it all together with the Montura because it's gonna be a lot of money. And so I can tell you right now, the interest that we talked about will cover what the locations you're talking about. I can't tell you if it's going to cover Montura and those locations. And so, just for your consideration, I don't want to say, okay, we're gonna do this with interest, you guys make it, we move forward, and then we come back with Montura and we say, oh, by the way, it's gonna be, I'm just making this up, I don't even know if this number's is $400,000. Well, I don't have another $400,000 in interest money for Montura. And then you're gonna go, what are we gonna do? And I'm gonna say, I don't know. And so I was wanting to bring the whole picture, and I think we're really close.
We're close.
Hopefully the next meeting, if we can get some information
That's where I was
back.
going. I want time certain.
And so
that's
that's why we put it on this agenda,
The
because
word
we were
hope.
hoping to have it. We were hoping to have it. And so we want to bring it back to you collectively.
Chair?
Yes, sir.
So, if we don't have it by next meeting, I would like for us to be able
Not
to
an
move
option.
forward.
Okay.
Well, if we don't have Montura's,
Sure.
everything together, we move forward with the three, and we bite it off
Okay.
piece by piece.
As long as
And-
y'all are
and-
aware, that's fine with me. I just didn't want to
Some of these things we gotta
mislead.
You can do
just
it.
chip away
Right.
when we can.
It's April 28th. You're gonna make it happen. Everyone's been
Waiting
working on
on
this
some other
like
people.
forever. I get it, right?
Right.
Figure out how to, like I mentioned before, we have to start making things time certain because time just gets away from us. So,
Yeah.
April 28th in LaBelle, we're gonna have some numbers.
Well,
Thank you,
and-
staff.
And I'll say now, I'm okay with making a motion right now for a certain dollar amount to order those 3 sets of mailboxes and have the other come back.
Gonna be based on I don't have my old staff report. It could be based on the minimum amounts that was in the staff report that we gave last go around.
$60,000.
So hypothetically, it comes in, we include Montura on there, and you don't have all the money under the interest. Okay? Are we saying that we're not gonna do those other locations?
No, we would, as part of, we could come up with another revenue source, and/or incorporate it, potentially in, next year's budget, and/or when we come back, the other side of this is, to create a fee for the box holder to pay, and that's part of the analysis, is to be able to create what that cost is annually, just like some of us pay an annual fee for a PO box. And so those dollars would go back to pay back what you're putting out.
Which is what we mentioned.
Right, and so, there's ways to do that. So we could go, if there was no other revenue source, I'm not saying there's not, but if there wasn't, potentially we could go out for a loan, and with those dollars, those fees that we're charging times X number of folks, could pay the loan and all that. I was just wanting to give you the whole picture instead of piecemealing it, because, that's just a perfect world. And I know we need to get busy in doing it, but if we can maybe try to wait for the next meeting to be able to bring those annual fees as part of it as well, to see what we're looking at. I mean, that's up to you. We don't have the numbers, I don't have the numbers, but it was around 60,000, I think, for the first 3 locations, not to exceed.
I don't remember.
Okay.
It was in my staff board meeting. If they're gonna make a motion, I'd
And we
recommend
could-
going
We'd
off.
have to maybe come back to it, try to find it in our email or something and come back to it so we could give you a dollar figure.
So we all want it done. I'm going to support what you say, but come April 28th,
Sure.
we're voting on this. Come back with some numbers, and we need to have that agreement with the postmaster. And I don't know if y'all have got one already, because if not, that can take 6 months, and then we're going to have
For Montura.
or anywhere. So we got to make sure that they're agreeing that they're going to disperse the keys. That's the agreement, or what we talked about. We got to make sure that's done, because if it's got to go to Washington and get bounced around everywhere, there's no telling how long that needs to be ironclad. But April 28th, we need to make it. We're done. All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr.
Since
Yes,
we're
sir.
talking about mailboxes.
Oh, we don't want to hear your free stuff
So,
at Wheeler Road.
Mr. Parker, when are we pouring concrete?
Invitation.
April 28th, I'd like to know.
I cannot tell you that.
They're doing it to you, I mean, you know.
They can do it. They're allowed to. They're elected, but I don't
tell-
have an answer.
Tell Mr. Sabella, I'd love to see concrete poles going up, and so as soon as you do that, our postmaster in LaBelle is providing the boxes, so I just need someplace to put them.
Understand.
Mark it
Thank
off
you,
the
Mr.
list.
The
Chairman.
bid's in the paper next week. I can't do any better than just advertise for 30 days, so
All right. Thank you.
follow the
Next,
procurement policy.
Thank you.
moving along, Lake Ridge Estate subdivision and shoreline of Old Borrow Pit.
Yes. Lake Ridge Estates, it surrounds like a U around an old borrow pit that the county got. And certain parcels were deeded off by that owner of the borrow pit to the adjacent landowners in Lake Ridge Estates. And staff would like to surplus the remainder of the lake bank. We'll still have the lake, the East Hendry County Drainage District, but we need to deed off the edges, and it matches the same depth into the lake as the previous parcels were deeded off. So I'm seeking for the board to declare the lands described in each of the 12 quitclaim deeds as surplus. They're included there with the legal descriptions. And authorize the chair, or in his absence, the vice chair, to execute the quitclaim deeds, and authorize us to record the quitclaim deeds with the clerk of court.
Chair,
Yes.
I'll abstain from the vote due to a family member that's part of this.
Is there a need if he's not getting compensated by it? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but it's going to be a.
It's a benefit to a relative under the 1112, so.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion approved by, motion by Commissioner Wills, second.
I
Anyone?
second it.
Second by Commissioner Byrd. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Motion also shows that Commissioner Atkinson is abstaining. The next item on the agenda, Jennifer, do you want to, Robert?
Bob is going to do an update for the E911 text at 911. So we're
Bob
excited.
Pastula, Director of Emergency Management. So to just give you an update on the text to 911, we are completely rolled over to the next generation 911 system. So everything is next generation now, and it's really made a big difference in our 911 system. The text to 911, we've been testing with all of the carriers. We were supposed to text with Comcast and Verizon today. Something came up where their systems weren't working. So AT&T, FirstNet, and T-Mobile all have the capacity to text to 911 right now at all of our facilities, the EOC, the Sheriff's Office, and the Clewiston Police Department. We've April 22nd, AT&T is going to try again. And then shortly after that, Verizon and Comcast are going to try again too. So as soon as those three carriers are able to pass those texts on to the 911 centers, we'll be up and running fully.
Okay. I was going to mention it, business by district, but I'm going to go ahead and recognize Bob while he's up there. So Bob's been running those exercises. I don't know if any of the staff's been in there. I think you guys were there yesterday.
I did.
Some of your team was there today. So Bob's running, the EOC's running exercises in the event let me rephrase that. They're running exercises as if we're already having a hurricane, Hurricane Larry to be exact. But it hit me today, and I've never noticed it before, maybe just situations that happen. But our EOC, our emergency management team, they have to be ready to handle any situation. And what I mean by that is, through this exercise, which is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they had a bomb threat at the Closton Christian School.
Yes, sir.
And an active shooter at another facility. Of course, that is strictly an exercise, but that's real life, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we can have a Category 3, 4 hurricane, tropical storm, whatever it may be, but all of our staff throughout the whole county, they have to be ready to respond. And I don't know, there was just something that hit me hard about that because you guys are unsung heroes. And I know that it takes a lot of moving parts, but thank you for what you do and your leadership to run with a calm demeanor through that process. I know that in the past there's been different EOC directors, and I've heard horror stories from before I was even a commissioner. I said at the last storm, I do feel that when Hendry County has a major event, 100%, we are ready. And we are ready by the team that you've assembled, the people that are involved. And Shane, you had 3 guys in there today. And I don't know, it meant a lot to me. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks to all the staff. Yep.
And can I add to that? Wow, that's how I walked out of the other day. Wow, at how it's progressed since 12 years ago. And the efficiency was amazing, and the EOC was truly under control. There wasn't this 3 portables sitting up on the table and trying to make copies of all your ICS forms and all that. It was just so well orchestrated. You guys have just done a wonderful job at that EOC.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks. All right. So moving along, this is a hearing of the public. Is there anyone that wishes to make any public comment at this time? Seeing none, business by district.
So everybody know we have brown sugar coming up, so, y'all pray for safety for our community as well as yours. I want to thank Shane Parker and his team. It's just a lot of stuff going on in District 1, and Tommy and Shane and them has really been on top of it. It's a lot of things going on where SED is doing things that they shouldn't do. So, it's not just in my district, but it's what I could see. But I want to bring to Shane's attention that there's a leak in the Florida B. Thomas Library. There's a leak in the Sheriff Department area, and we talked about not patching. So, I hope that, I'm not sure who's handling it, but we make sure we're not patching. We talked about that when we first got in office, that when we patch, it just costs us more money. If we can redo the roof, I just think that we need to redo the roof. So other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
I want to start off with code enforcement. In the last 2 weeks, code enforcement has worked several very difficult cases in District 2, some with multiple violations and also with the responsible parties acting irresponsibly. Our code team has endured slander, profanity, videoing for social media attacks, and I just want to say thank you to Tommy, Simona, Brian, and Pedro for acting with the utmost character and professionalism and presenting our county with dignity, and I want to thank you all for that. I also want to thank IT for probably a month. I know for myself, I've been inundated with spam, 150, 200 spam emails a night, and losing track of good emails, but our IT jumped on it. They figured out what would fix the problem, and they did, and it's operating normally. And then last thing, I do want to go back to the boat ramp issue, and I would like to ask staff if a parallel work alongside of the current proposal, looking at Belhatchee Marina and as a possible purchase. Belhatchee has some good assets in there. They have buildings that can be lease, they have they have a large boat ramp and a ordinary boat ramp for pleasure boats. But they have a lot of infrastructure in there that would be very beneficial. There's revenue stream possibilities in that facility, and as you can see, like tonight, it may have a positive effect for the community as well. So I would just like to ask if the staff would parallel a process for Belhatchee as well.
Wills?
Yeah, Tommy, I see I only have 22 cases. What in the world? I'm feeling kind of left out or something.
You sent them to me.
You're welcome. So the conversation we've had the last quite a few meetings has been the dump trucks in Wheeler. And we've talked about getting stronger enforcement on that. Where have we landed on that? I haven't heard anything, so I'm just kind of curious if we found a way to get stronger with that or what.
We've, I guess the draft, the citation books either been ordered or just about to be ordered.
Less than 10 days. They'll be here.
Then once they get that, I'm assuming that they're gonna start issuing those citations for that type of thing.
Okay, so
Citation
I would
book
ask,
actually affects it, we left it open from a cost analysis, cause it could be a violation of burn ban, it could be this, it's kind of a catch-all, so it's multi-use.
Okay, so I would ask Tommy also, the Sunshine Acres area, I'd like to take a look at the trucks and the buses in there. We've got a lot of buses parking at residential homes, and we have a lot of semis doing the same thing. So I'd like to take a look at that area as well, please. And thank you for what you're doing in Wheeler. I know you get beat up out there all the time, but obviously you're making a difference. So I do appreciate the team with all that. Mr. Parker, same sort of line of questions, Sunshine Acres and Double J Acres. It's been a couple years since they've seen any love on the drainage. Rainy season is coming. I had talked to Nidell in the past, and I'm very sad to hear we're losing him. What an asset he's been to Hendry County. But I don't know where we are on that. I know you guys queued up the road out there. You're taking care of that, and I really appreciate that. You had a contractor come in. But in those two areas, drainage-wise, I'd ask that we take a look at that. Really, Double J Acres. Now, Sunshine, you and I talked about a couple months back, and we had some restrictions there as far as right of entry, and I understand that. I'm just kind of curious if we've been able to move any on that.
Shane Parker, for the record, no, sir, we have not been able to move, but that is on our to-do list to get right of entry to go. There's a unnamed ditch that traverses through Sunshine that we need to clean up, but we haven't had a chance to make it there yet.
Yeah,
It's
if
on the
we
list
could,
to do.
somehow get a look at that this year. It's been a long time.
We can get to it this year. That's not a problem. We just
We
got
can
to
get
get
that drainage
mobilized.
through there, it'll help that whole neighborhood. That whole neighborhood floods pretty good, and if we get that one drainage ditch opened
Right.
up through behind Davis Pratt,
Yep.
that'll help relieve a lot of that water, so.
Okay.
Double J Acres, mainly out there is just the roadway ditches and roadsides. The other day, we had like 5.5 inches of rain, and we flooded all over the place, and I know situations like that are gonna happen, but with rainy season coming, if we have those events on top of that, we could have some issues.
Right. Okay.
So I appreciate that. There was something else, my mind went blank. Those two there.
Had to be mailboxes.
I'm
We
getting
already hit that.
mailboxes, brother.
Sidewalks, you need sidewalks?
Can you take some pictures of my mailboxes and share them for the board? No, it was something else, and it'll come to me in a minute, so I'll just pass it along till then, so.
If you need to chime back in, Commissioner Atkins.
The only thing I've got is I just want to thank staff for everything y'all do. You know, I know sometimes we're more difficult than what y'all would like on certain issues, but thank y'all for putting up with us and all y'all do for the residents. They don't see what y'all do, but we do.
Yes.
And thank y'all.
I did get it, Mr. Chairman. So I was out 2 weeks ago at Fort Deneau Cemetery, and I wonder if we get an update on the new cemetery portion out there, where we're at with that.
Have a lot to update shooting from the hip, but we did get a quote for clearing some vegetation. We're gonna have to put it out to bid. We got an estimate number. I'm waiting on a quote to come in for raising, basically lowering the limbs off the bottom. And I want to say that quote was 50 to 70,000 or something for moving some select oak trees out of the way. But Alan, Jerry, one contractor, and Daniel Aiken went out and looked. to make room for the plot. Some have to come out because there's a lot of oak trees, but that was from one. We got to bid it out, and I may be high on that number. But I'm just trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, I was just curious. I was out there, like I said, a couple weeks ago for a service, and it's filling up. I
Right.
mean, we've been saying that for a long time, but it's filling up. So I was just kind of curious where we were at. I knew we had some, different berms and different things we had to do and fill and different stuff. So I was
Everything
just
up
kinda
in phase
curious.
one is done. It's just got to be the oak trees removed and maybe a little bit of fill up in the corner.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay. No, hold on. You can stay up there real quick. Poor Shane. We should just give him a wireless mic and let him sit down. Helms, did we get the mix patch on there last Monday? I didn't go by there.
Say it again. Oh, no.
Patch on
No, we
Helms?
haven't done no asphalt paving on Helms yet.
Okay, you were gonna do
They may
that.
have patched it. I don't know.
Okay, all right, I'll check that. Garbage, we went out to bid. You had 3.
We got 3 quotes. We're waiting on, my staff's working on setting up a date for the selection committee to meet, and then we'll have to have a special board meeting because it'll be presentations. It'll be probably long.
Okay. Once again, kind of time certain we need, I know that's gonna be a hard one for you, because you put out, what, 9 bids or something like that? 9 variations?
Yeah, there's some variations to it, but we want to have it done because we got to pick in no later than June, the first board meeting. We got to set the rates for
Right.
the trim notice.
So, I mean, let's use April 20th. You think by April 28th, you won't have the selection committee?
I don't think we'll have
They
it. by
haven't
the-
met
We got
yet
to
at that point.
publicly advertise the selection meeting, so you
You
probably
see
May.
where I'm
you'll
going
be
at
here.
with Jennifer? We at least need to advertise it and just,
No. Well, I can't advertise it if I don't have anybody showing up. I got to have my selection committee members showing up and find a date that works for them. That's what they're working on.
okay. All right, that's all I got for you.
All right.
I'd like to give a shout out to Lisa Sands. So last year, the United Way always has their fundraiser at Riverbend Estates, and last year they required them to move locations. They wouldn't use that facility anymore. It kind of disappointed me because it's such a great location to have a fundraiser. And when she told me they were having it at the Civic Center, I was like, man, it's just not going to be the same. The ambiance is not the same. I didn't make it last year. I came this year. She knocked it out of the park. Her and her team are just absolutely amazing. Probably the most packed I've ever seen the Civic Center. I think she told me they had roughly 50 more people in there than she was able to put at Riverbend, and that equates to dollars. And those dollars go right back into our communities, helping provide services for people that truly, truly need it. So I just want to give her and the United Way a shout out. And Commissioner Wills, at the last meeting during Business by District, you had asked about reaching out to FDOT. So I did speak to.
That was the other thing.
Yeah, you just
Thank you.
remembered. You want to go ahead?
Nope, go ahead.
So I did speak to Secretary Driggers. He is concerned about our request as far as the red light at Martin Luther King and 80, and then I want to call it a crosswalk, but that thing in front of
Accident waiting to happen.
an accident waiting to happen. Now, what he did say that location had 2 fatalities. I recall one. I don't recall the other one.
It was not that location. It was a block down where the fatalities actually
Yeah.
took place.
So when I mentioned that to him, he says he would go back and dig into it a little bit further and bring it back. There are also some conversations coming back up in about a month and a half about what can be done on 80. So just so you know, he is abreast of the issues, and he's going to look at it. We just need to stay in constant communication with him, but I do feel that he's a partner. Tell him if he won't move it, we'll go out there with Shane's crew will go out there and rip it out, and he can just come in and pave it.
Mr. Chairman, that's kind of the reason I asked for a letter from the board, letting them recognize that we are concerned about this. The red light was huge. MLK and 80, that's a huge situation. And when they put that into the median project, I knew that's what it was gonna do, so that's my concerns with that. Yes, the crosswalk is an issue. The red light is something we can't put out for another 2 to 3 years. We have homes in that area now. You have Bell Arbor, you have now the apartments as well, so we have a lot of traffic right next to that intersection. So again, I'm asking for board support on this, to reach out and tell them, hey, this is our community, we live here.
And if I misunderstood, didn't we agree on that last
Did we ever
meeting
get a
about
letter
sending
out?
the letter out? I don't recall signing anything, but can we make sure that we get that
Yeah.
taken care of tomorrow, and I'll come over and sign it, do whatever I need to do.
But thank you for reaching out,
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I thought because you was the MC, you would at least acknowledge the auctioneer.
Oh, we had an
he was a rock
amazing
star.
auctioneer. Carson came out of retirement. He got dressed up a little bit. People didn't recognize him. Miss Bird did a phenomenal job.
Wow, the MC.
I didn't pat myself on the back. I didn't say anything about me. I was recognizing the United Way. They're the real heroes.
They did do an
But
awesome
Miss
job.
Bird did help raise a lot of money.
Thank you.
All right.